He's misunderstood. Some say that he's up to no good around the neighborhood. Well, for your information, a lot of my brothers got education.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Josh Clark. This is episode number 31. This is Desinicism. That's DESINICISM.com. So the liberal human subject, which is built on the principles of Descartes' thinking, which is an individual that is constituted by thinking. Each individual becomes author of their own thoughts, actions, as well as meaning. So the idea, Descartes' idea of thinking about the world was to separate the mind from the body, and to distrust his sensory experience, and to only trust what he can represent in his mind as being the true and real world. The rational self-knowing subject in the thinking of Descartes allowed us to make progress as understanding the world as rational human beings. But throughout the 19th and 20th century, there has been principal figures that have challenged this narrow understanding of the way we look at the world. Challengers such as Freud, Lacan, Latour, Foucault. They suggested that ultimately human subject is not universal, but it is historically and culturally contingent, and also the individual can only get to understand the subject, this human subject, through discursive practices such as literature, or television, or film, etc., etc. So let's now try and focus in on the gaze, which is ultimately looks at the role of the unconscious and desire, and how relational activity in a field of appearances and looking establishes relationships of power. At first, in order to analyze this relationship of looking, we first have to look at who's doing the looking and who's being looked at. So in a field of appearances, we establish power through difference. Last time we talked about semiotics and how Stuart Hall talks about through language we encode and ultimately decode meanings. Within the dominant hegemonic ideology, language is formed in a way that reinforces that power relationship. Okay, so we establish power through marking difference. When we mention, and this is usually done by creating explicit binaries. Okay, so there's gender, there's male and female. There's race, there's black, there's white. But ultimately, when you think about a race or you think about a gender, more times than not, you're going to think about a particular polarity as being marked and the other one being not marked. If you think about gender, female is probably marked. If you think about race, black is probably marked. What we have to acknowledge is the fact that when a binary is considered to be marked, it is seen as something that is beyond normal, a deviation, something that is contrary. Due to these embedded encodes in the language that we use every day to communicate, reestablishes and reconfirms these relations of power. Designicism, a fusion of design and cynicism, is a philosophical position which questions the industrial agenda as well as tries to encourage purpose-driven and values-based work within the design community. Designicism.com is a division of Blockaway Innovation and is a global parent and supporter of UNICEF, which strives to ensure health, education, and equality for children everywhere.